Well, Dr. Oz has certainly become a household name. He's been coming into our homes every day for the last several years, helping us lead healthier, more productive lives.
But who is Dr. Oz when the cameras stop rolling? How does he spend his time off? How does he make sure that he keeps his own health in check? Well, Brian Spyros stopped by the set of his show in New York City and sat down with Dr. Oz to get some answers.
He's often referred to as America's doctor, and for more than 5 years, Dr. Oz has helped educate us on how to live happier, healthier lives.
I'm going to explain to you how our body tries to cope with the energy needs that it has.
And while we know him from his talk show, when the lights and cameras are off, Dr. Oz still maintains his job as a heart surgeon.
Well, most people know me from this environment, being at the studio and on television, but in fact, my calling in life is to be a healer. I try to do it a little bit in television, but you really do it in the operating room. That's why I still operate. I go on Thursdays. I've always adored medicine.
Dr. Oz sat down with Delmarva Life during a visit to the set of the Dr. Oz show in New York City. He says he knew he wanted to be a doctor when he was just 7 years old.
And when I finally became a doctor, I realized it's absolutely what I wanted to be. In fact, there's not a lot of other things I would be good at besides medicine. It's perfectly designed for my mindset. I like dealing with issues quickly. I like addressing them head on. I like connecting with people, looking them in the eyes and making sure they know that I care about them and that they are in good hands.
So how did this heart surgeon turn into a talk show host? Many people credit Oprah for that, and while she played an important part, it was another woman who got the ball rolling. Dr. Oz's wife of 28 years, Lisa.
My wife, she's the woman who was the Visine eyes. So remember those Visine commercials, they drop little droplets in there?
Yes.
Those were her eyes. So she understood a little bit about entertainment, and she knew the power of television to get the word out to people who otherwise aren't hearing it, the message. So she said, you know what, get out of the operating room a little bit, let's make a show, a documentary, just 13 hours on Discovery Channel about life, about medicine, about healing in the body. So in order to do that, I needed to have a big name guest. So I invited Oprah. And we still laugh about the fact that she came on because she should never have come. It was, I mean, nobody making a show.
But in the end, Oprah came through. Dr. Oz says she then invited him on her show, and the rest, as they say, is history. Oprah eventually offered him his own show, which debuted in September 2009.
Being a television host was never on my vision board, never dawned on me. It was a huge honor and a big opportunity, and after talking it through with my family, we decided I'd make the jump to making a television show. And it's been a blessing for the last 5 years. I think I'm a much better doctor now because I've learned all the things making the show than I was before I began doing the program.
We got a behind-the-scenes look at all the time and effort Dr. Oz puts into the show. He goes over story ideas with the producers and spends a great deal of time going over each and every single segment before he begins taping a show. And when it's showtime, Dr. Oz enters a studio full of people who've come to admire his knowledge and advice.
When you walk out on the set and you hear the blissful experience of just being with people and people clapping and just expecting information, you realize it's a great honor. And it's also a wonderful opportunity. But you never want to forget at its very core that it's about trust. The reason they're clapping is not because I'm going to say something funny. I'm not going to sing a song for them. I'm going to give them information they can trust as being valuable. Remember, trust comes in two forms. They have to trust that I'll do the right thing by them, but they'll also have to trust that I'm competent to share the information with them.
With so much time spent between the studio and operating room, Dr. Oz stays busy. So I had to ask him what he does on the weekends or in his spare time.
I actually am a hermit. I don't go out. I stay at home. With my family, we've got 4 kids, so there's lots of people to play with. I usually will play a sport, tennis or basketball, or I'll go running on Saturday morning. My wife usually likes to do yoga with me. And I find that spending time with them, purposeful time, when I get to actually look in their eyes and see what they look like. Think about that, and most of us don't ever do that with the people that we love the most. But spending a little bit of time like that sort of centers me, and it calms me, and it gives me renewed purpose for the following week.
And speaking of family, it's about to get bigger. Dr. Oz will soon be a grandfather for the first time.
I come from a family of lots of women. I had 25 cousins roughly, 1 male. And when I found out that my oldest daughter Daphne was pregnant, and she's due in March, I'm excited about what gender it's going to be. She won't tell me, by the way, it's a secret. So I'll find out what everyone else finds out.
First on Oprah, now on his own show, Dr. Oz has been talking about how to be healthy for quite some time. But how does he keep himself healthy and in check?
I rarely do dumb things with my food. I mean, I'll cheat and eat foods that aren't best for me, but I really will have that as my norm. I eat a lot of nuts, by the way, which is good for a bunch of reasons. I focus in a lot on sleep, which doesn't just mean going to sleep on time. It means making sure you're mentally ready to go to sleep. Things like dimming the lights ahead of time or using orange lights, which don't stimulate the brain so your melatonin levels go up. I spend a lot of time making sure my wife's not mad at me, which is probably true for a lot of guys, or recovering from things I've done wrong, because in my house the prosecution never rests. And then I look for activities that bring us together. I'll create games, experiences, I'll plan trips, do things that force authentic experience.
And when it comes to his own show, no matter what the topic may be on any given day, Dr. Oz says he hopes everyone who watches is learning something.
The most important thing for folks to appreciate in the show is that it's news you can use. And I'm not just talking abstractly about the person next to you, I'm talking about you. Literally, the voice, by finger pointing, it's aimed at you. And I bet you there's probably someone in your life that can use the information I'm giving to you. And your obligation is to spread the word.
Called to be a healer. Now, you may remember Dr. Oz made headlines in August after he was one of several people who ran to the rescue of a tourist who was hit by an out-of-control cab in New York City. The woman lost her leg in the accident. Dr. Oz later had her on his show. He says the real heroes that day were the strangers who came to her help even before he made it on scene, which helped save her life. Isn't that something?
It is.
Well, still ahead on Delmarva Life, could today be your lucky day? We're going to find out if you are the winner of today's holiday gift card giveaway.
But next, planning a wedding can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. We'll learn more about a one-stop shop for everything wedding. We'll be right back.